Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to do a much requested update on the Erin Condren teacher planner. I use an Erin Condren teacher planner for my homeschool planning, and I am going to share with you how I am using it. And this is probably going to be a bit of a long video, so you are warned. But so let's get started. Okay, so this is just the cover that came with the planner. I ordered a ready to ship planner because I didn't need a new cover. I have one already. And while I like to have the different covers for the Erin Condren Life Planner, the teacher planner doesn't really bother me that much. So I just have this, and this is actually last year's teacher planner. I purchased a new teacher planner when they were on sale right around Black Friday last year. I think they were 20% off. And so I purchased one then, knowing that I was going to use it again this year. So I figured, why not? And I don't think that there's really anything different between this planner and the new planner that just came out this year, except for a few design elements, which in the grand scheme of things are not that big of a deal for me to work off of last year's design elements. So the first few pages I don't really use. I'm going to see if I can show. So the first few pages I really don't use because I'm not a public school teacher. This front page I haven't filled out, but I probably should. The All About Me, it's not really that big of a deal to me on filling this out. I'm not going to write any passwords or anything down because I don't need to. Web resources, you know, it's not really necessary for me. So I don't really use this. I know a lot of people like to repurpose these pages, and there are some extremely cute ideas on YouTube, but honestly, I don't have the time. I thought I would last year, but I didn't do anything with these pages, so I am probably just going to leave them blank unless I decide to do something on a whim. But classroom events and volunteers, I don't have any volunteers for my homeschool, so it's not really necessary to keep that information. And helpful hints for the substitute. Again, no substitute teachers. So I really like this page, the holidays and dates to remember, because it offers a lot of different quote-unquote holidays that you wouldn't usually see on a regular calendar. Things like E.B. White's birthday, Citizenship Day, Fire Prevention Week, you know, all kinds of little things that are really great for school to celebrate, to work into different lesson plans, and just to have on hand. You know, if we want to do something fun for Dr. Seuss's birthday, it's nice to know when it is. So I really like this page. Now, this is, obviously it says happy birthday to you. I know my kids' birthdays. I do have 3, so it's getting to be a stretch, but I don't need this for birthdays. What I do use this for, and you'll see that I've started to write out some things over here, is I am going to use this for my yearly scope. There is an actual year plan tab, but I like the setup of this in the birthday section a little bit better. It's a little narrower and longer, and I am a list maker, so it's really perfect for me for just sort of listing out a few bullet points of what I want to accomplish that month. I haven't filled out the rest of the year yet because I want to see how our August goes. We started on August 1st, and we kind of ease back into everything. It's when we add in new curriculum. Over the summer, we're just doing math, reading, writing, and spelling. So we're adding in the history and the science and all the extra subjects. So it's a little bit of a stretch trying to get back on track, and I didn't want to plan out the whole year and then realize, oh, okay, well, I only got the first 2 things done in August, so I probably need to redo everything. So I'm going to see how August goes, and then I'm going to fill it out. I will probably do it 3 months at a time. We do take a big break in December. That's our big homeschool break. Because we school year round, and I prefer to have December off. It is a very busy month for us, so it's very busy for most people, I think. Yeah, so I will put a new header up here instead of happy birthday to you, but I have not gotten that far. I have a lot of stuff planned out, but I'm not quite at the point where I'm decorating yet. And that's okay. That doesn't bother me, but I do want to put a nice header up here anyways. So the next section is actually the absent log. Obviously, we don't need to take attendance. I mean, I do keep track of the days that we do school, but we don't need to keep attendance. Because if somebody's sick, we don't do school that day usually. So I have converted these, I did this last year too, into book logs for the kids. There's 3 pages. I haven't done the other 2 yet, or 3 2-page spreads rather. And so each 2-page spread goes to one of my kids, and the last one is for read-alouds that we do as a family, and also audiobooks that the kids do. So what I do is I just write the name of the book, the date that it was finished, and the author, and I don't do anything with the notes. I guess I could put a start and end date and then check it when it's done, but I don't know. It doesn't really seem necessary to me. And so that's what these pages are for, and it works out really well because the columns are nice and it's big enough for me to put a book title, and I like that the date is already there and I just have to replace the reason that they're absent with a little piece of tape and the word author. So the next section is graph paper, and I honestly do not use this for really anything. I know that a lot of teachers would find it useful for setting up classrooms or putting charts together or whatnot. I don't really have that need. Last year I used it mainly for just lists. Like I said before, I'm huge on lists, and so having some extra paper is never a bad thing for me. I could also, there's several pages, you could definitely do sort of like a mini bullet journal in here, which maybe I'll try that just for ideas and things, but there's so much extra paper in this planner that I don't really find the need for it, but it is there if I need some extra paper. Now, this is the Plan Your Year Long Range Planning, which a lot of people I'm sure would use for their yearly scope. I used it last year as a note for themes. Last year I wanted to do a theme each month and have the kids do a project around that theme. It did not work out as well as I had hoped. We did not have time to really put the projects into practice the way that I wanted to, and so I had to let that go a little bit, but I still work around themes, monthly themes. You know, we live in Maine, and so it's very seasonal here, and there are certain things we like to do in each of the seasons and the months, and so I like to have sort of those benchmarks for when we do have time to do something extra, or if we know that there's going to be a big field trip to the Science Museum or the Maine State Museum or something. I can sort of put that in here and then know when I'm doing my regular planning that I have some extra things that I want to do, and I then can leave margin in my weekly plans in order to accomplish those items. Now the next pages are the calendar pages, and at the beginning of each month is a notes page, which is perfect for me to obviously take notes. I I like to use this for if I need to pick up supplies for science experiments for the month, or if I know that I need to buy more books for Emma or Jack to read, or if we need a new curriculum, or if something isn't working and we need to change it, I kind of put all of that here. It's plenty of space for those things, and I tend to just section it off into lists again. I'm a list person. I will probably say list 5 more times in this video. And then there's the quote, and then the calendar. And I'm not sure if they changed the calendar for the new planners. This is actually a different calendar than what I had for last year, and I'm not all that pleased with it. I think that, I mean, it will work fine, but this is the calendar that they used to put in the notebooks, and it's not as good for a teacher planner. I will show you. So this is last year's planner, and it has, as you can see, 6 rows for the month, which is nice because then you don't have to section off days and do like half a day. And it starts with Monday, which is perfect because the school day goes Monday through Friday, and then on the weekends it's split up into 2 smaller boxes, which really works out well since we do not do a lot of school on the weekends, or if we do, it's something like a field trip, and then we can just write field trip. But this year it is the regular, like you would expect a monthly calendar to look like, with the 5 rows. And yeah, I'm not as pleased about it, but you know, it'll work just fine. I just really liked how it was Monday through Friday and then the weekends on the right side. But that is neither here nor there. You'll notice that I do not have any date dots for the numbers on this calendar. I thought that the planner was supposed to come with them, but when I received the planner, I never checked to see if the dots were in the little pocket in the back, and they weren't when I went to do the calendar pages this year. So obviously I wasn't going to email Erin Condren and let them know that, and I'm actually not even sure if they still send those with the planners. They did for my planner last year, and other calendars that have been blank like this for notebooks and such that I've purchased, they've always come with the date dots. So I don't know if that's something new or what, but I probably should order some date dot stickers from Etsy because I don't really want to write in all of the numbers every month. But you know, that's fine too. And so what I use the calendar for are all the school things. So if there's a sports practice, if there's piano or our co-op, or you know, field trips, library trips, anything school related, I will put it on this calendar. It is a little redundant because often I have that information also in my life planner, but I do like to have it all in one spot so that when I put the portfolio together at the end of the year, I have a really good grasp of what we have done. And the field trips that we've gone on, etc. It kind of saves me when in the middle of the year I forget to take notes or records of what we're doing. Yeah, so I always have a place to look back and see that information. And then note section over here, I don't really have anything. And then just, you know, it has the little calendar down here, which obviously is going to end at the end of December, because this is 2015 and 2016. So those won't really be applicable to me for 2017, but, you know, I don't really need those either, so. All right, and so the next section is the real reason that I purchased the Erin Condren teacher planner, and that is the lesson planning section. I have always used Sunlight curriculum, and that comes with an instructor's guide. However, I have noticed that I still write it out when we are doing school, I tend to write out everything that we're doing. We are stretching out the cores right now because Emma started Core D last year, and it's technically for like third or fourth grade. And so she was second grade last year, and she's technically, if she were in public school, would be in third grade this year. So some of the subject matter was a little more advanced, and some of the books were a little more advanced for her. So we are stretching it out. Instead of a 2-year U.S. history, we're doing 3 years. All of that to say, it is easier for me to write everything down and then check it off. It's easy to see right in front of me what I'm doing. And I know, okay, this is too much, this is not enough, I have extra space here. Just having it laid out this way and taking the time to look through the books and see what we're doing, it helps me to wrap my head around everything that we're doing with school, as well as really work at the kids' pace, which is one of the primary reasons that we are homeschooling, to work at their pace. So I love these lesson plans. I know that some people change it and they do Monday through Friday, or kids' names up here, or kids' names this way. I use it the traditional way, the date down the left, and then the subjects up at the top. My main subjects are history, reading, spelling, writing, math, science, fine arts, and gym, and then extras. You'll notice we have no extras in here right now. This is our first week of school, and we're holding off on the extras like health, like cooking and sewing, and other things like that the kids want to participate in, but we're just not at that point where we can add them in yet. So we focus mainly on the history, reading, writing, spelling, math, science, fine arts right now. Fine arts is music appreciation, piano, art, and art appreciation, which we haven't done a whole lot of yet, and then PE is gym, obviously. Yeah, so this is kind of the main purpose for me purchasing this planner, is to have this lesson planning section, and I really like how it's laid out. It works well for me, and I can move things around easily enough. I do color coordinate the kids, so the dark purple is stuff that we all do together, and then the pink is Emma and the blue is Jack. And yeah, it worked really well last year, and I'm hoping that it does the same this year. This is going to be our first year doing school with both Emma and Jack for 5 days. Last year, Jack was really only doing school maybe 3 days a week, 2 to 3 days a week. Yeah, so it's a little crazy. I do have plenty of space to write everything out for the 2 kids, and I hope that continues when I eventually add Lucy in, but I'm not entirely sure. I may end up having to get a second planner. I don't really know how that's going to work when I have more kids. I mean, right now I see that there's plenty of space, but when I have 3 kids that are doing 3 different sets of stuff, I'm not sure. But right now it really works, and I like the colors. I like that I can look at it and easily see what I need to do. Like I said before, it's what works for me the most. Okay, and so there are 40 sheets in here for 40 weeks. I do wish that Erin Condren gave you an option to add more, because we do school year round, and some weeks we are only doing 3 or 4 days a week, and I don't like to waste the sections. But you know, I'm not a regular, I mean, this is specifically for public school, and I'm converting it for homeschool, so. And then finally, the last section, the other reason I really love this planner is the checklist section. So this is what the checklist section looks like, you know, blank. I don't use it as a student checklist. obviously, because I only have 2 students. What I use it for is actually a monthly tracker. And I order the extra pages because you can order extra pages for the checklists. And what I end up doing is having one 2-page spread for Emma and one 2-page spread for Jack for each month of the year. And I use them just as you would a habit tracker in a bullet journal. I didn't know about bullet journals last year when I came up with this idea, but that seems to be the closest way to explain it. So what I do is I put the date down the left for each month. This is August. And then across the top, I put everything that we are doing or may do in the month. So this is the morning routine, and then all of the subjects, all of our normal subjects, and then all of our extra subjects that we don't spend every day on, but we do hit at some point during the month. And then the last section is chores. And then what I am able to do is go through each day and just check off what is done. And I love this checklist. I love to be able to see at the end of the month what we have done. I tend to second guess myself constantly with homeschooling, and I never know if I'm doing enough, if I'm doing the right thing. I think it might be a parenting thing in general, but I'm always anxious to see what we accomplish. And so when I have the ability to look back at the month and see, oh, okay, well, we did all of this stuff, then I know that I'm doing what I need to do. And then it also gives me the opportunity to see where we're lacking. If I see that we haven't done health all of August, I realize, okay, well, we need to take some extra time in September and spend that on health. Or if I see that Emma is never doing her chores, then I know, okay, we need to have some correction in there. But just to have a nice large picture of what is going on for the month, what we're accomplishing, what we need to work harder on, what we can back off on, it's all really helpful to have that information. And it also is nice to be able to just have it as another record, another part of planning for the portfolio review that we have to do at the end of the year. So I think that is, pretty much what this planner is about for me. The two main sections are really the lesson plans and the checklist. Obviously, I like the calendars. To keep track of the school days, I put a check for every day that we do school. We're required to do 175 days in Maine, but there's no requirement as to which days we do school. So like I said, if we do a field trip on Saturday, we can count that as school. In the back of the planner, there are some stickers. They're not really applicable to me. Sometimes I will use the library stickers or reminder stickers, but for the most part, these do not apply to homeschooling. And there are also blank stickers. I don't really use these. I've purchased special school type stickers from Etsy shops like Libby & Co. Just little cute things like pencils and things like that. So it's definitely not a decorating planner like the Erin Condren Life Planner is for some people, but it's very practical and it's very useful to me. And in the back there is a folder which I use to just stick papers in. And then the other thing that you can do is you can get up to 3 of these plastic sleeves, and what I put in here is typically the paperwork that I have to send to the state for registering Emma for school, and return receipts, and also any certificates they get through sports or classes that they take, etc. And then so I think you can get 3, and I get 2, one for Emma and one for Jack. And I'm assuming once I have Lucy in school too, I'll have 3. And then it also has this little pocket in the back. And I'm not sure if the new planner has this attached or not. I know in the Life Planner it comes separate now, and it's a little bit different. It's actually, you can open it and close it a little bit easier. I don't really use this for anything. But it is there, and it is nice if you have things that you want to stick in there, like a couple of pens or something, or stamps or whatever. So that is the planner and how I am using it this year. And I hope that this was helpful to you. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I would love to answer any questions that you have for me regarding the planner or homeschooling, whichever is fine. And I do have a corresponding blog post to this video, and I'll leave a link for that below. And I will also leave my affiliate link for erincondren.com. If you've never placed an order with Erin Condren and you click on my link and sign up for an account, they will send you a $10 off coupon code in your email that you can use towards your first order. Yeah, so thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys will have a wonderful school year. Bye!